kind of the most beautiful day ever here in Seattle, so I hope that it's that way wherever you are as well. We're going to get started here in a couple of minutes, but we'll give everyone a chance to jump on board. Quick announcement thing that I'll say a couple of times if I remember, but just to get it out there. Next week we will likely lump this in with another social dance party, so we'll have Matthew and I and maybe some other folks DJ, and we'll play around and stuff right after this class. So we'll do the noon to 1 thing, and then we'll just go straight into a Zoom group party. And we'll kind of partner, I think, with the folks at Salsa Cantoto. So we'll do the usual Seattle mini exchange thing, but digital. So keep an ear out for that. I'm going to get set up here with my handy dandy Matthew and I and maybe some handy dandy chat so I can see what y'all are saying. And we're going to warm up here in just a second. When we do that, when we're warming up, I'm going to recommend that you really pay attention to the saxophone, because that's the person who will be playing sax on the choreography song. So it's fun to have those connected. We are dancing to Greg Ruby's Six. They just recorded a new album this year, and Greg is releasing it a couple tracks at a time through Bandcamp. You can go down in the comments and find that album, or not the comments, the details underneath this video. And they're doing a couple tracks every week. It's a bunch of our favorite musicians from around here. On bass, you got Jen Hodge. On drums, you got Devon. Doyle's playing reeds, and of course, Greg is organizing. There's just a bunch of folks. So check that out if you can. If you want to do that in the meantime, while we're waiting for people to jump in, that's a great chance to get the song for yourself. The other link down there is for Jonathan Doyle, who is the song we're doing the choreography to. So you can get both of those. Weird thing about the choreography song, we're going to be dancing to a live recording of it that they did at Emerald City Solo Jam, because the version from the Fed Hop CD, the drummer uses a ride cymbal, and that sound doesn't carry very well over onto my recordings. So we're doing the slower version of it a little bit because it's the one they played at East Side Stomp. But you can still totally pick up the Fed Hop album and grab that song and practice to that and make it awesome. So we're going to start off with a bit of a warm-up. Go ahead and find yourself some space. Make sure you're not going to break anything, yourself or otherwise. And we're warming up to a song off that new album from Greg Ruby called Just a Little Swing. And here it is. So follow along from home. Nicely done. Hope everyone's good and warm. That song is a little bit brisk, which is perfect for getting the muscles moving after a week of work. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my comments here to say hi to everybody. Oh, there's a few of you. Awesome. Welcome to the party. We're going to get started on some choreography here in just a second. Couple quick announcements. First off, if you would like to support what we're doing here, please jump over to patreon.com/Syncopation Foundation as soon as we're done with this class and jump on board. For $5 a month, you can kind of make this free class for me continue. It's really motivating to know that people are actually doing the things and chipping in. Or if you want to chip into other funds, there are a lot of dance companies around the US that are struggling right now. Two of them that I know have fundraisers up at the moment are Atomic Ballroom down in Irvine. You can look that up on GoFundMe. Or if you go on Facebook and look for Century Ballroom, they're also trying to make their rent for the month. So those are places that have to pay for brick and mortar buildings to survive as a dance company. In that way, being a small nonprofit, we're kind of lucky. We don't have a lot of rent. We have a little bit we have to do to hold the spaces, but it's not a ton. But some of those folks are really struggling right now. So if you can chip in for that, that would be lovely. We're also going to do some live music type things in the near future with the foundation. If you have requests for current musicians you'd like to have broadcast, or if you have requests for current musicians whose CDs aren't in copyright land that you would like me to choreograph to for these classes, feel free to send those my way as well. And the last announcement before we get into the choreography is if you like this choreography or any of the other ones that we've done, or even if you just go, you know what, I like my own dancing, even if I don't like your choreography, Ben, and you record yourself doing it and send it in to me, I can cut together a few of them and make little supercut tapes. I'll just take the best part of each person's performance and slice them and dice them and put them together. And if you want to see what that'll look like, there's a version of the social disc dancing shim sham on our YouTube channel. So check that out. And I would love to have you all be a part of that in the next one. So shoot me videos of you dancing. It'll make my heart happy. And for now, let's get started. So I'm using a couple bits of classic choreography in this routine and then making it our own thing to match the music. The song we're dancing to is the Fed Hop, named after a venue in Austin, Texas that Jonathan Doyle used to play at all the time. We're going to start off with a couple of boogie forwards. We're doing them kind of in the style of Al and Leon from their Shim Sham, Al Minns and Leon James. If you don't know who they are, look them up. They're amazing. So we're starting with boogie forwards with the right foot. And we're kind of just cruising forward. We're taking our time. It's pretty chill. We're just going 8, 1, 2, 3. And then instead of doing the usual Al and Leon Shim Sham, where we kind of applejack backward, what we're going to do is jump into a different bit of choreography that was really popular at the Savoy Ballroom called Stops. You can find this on the Spirit Moves Disc 2 if you want to learn the whole little choreography bit. I had a request for it recently, so we'll probably make a video to put up on here too. But the part we're doing is just rock, step, step. So we did 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Kind of leaning forward into that step. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're going to clap on that count 8. So 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to step back on your left foot on 1 and hop on it again on count 2. So we have a little bit of a fall off the log, right? We go up and stagger backward. So that so far looks like this. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. And I'll show you what that's going to feel like in the music so you can get the right kind of groove going on. One of the most important things you can do as a dancer for whatever genre of dance you're doing is find how the music makes you want to move in that genre, which means dancing in a vacuum where it's just quietness is kind of weird. So here's what it's going to sound like. So it's again, that's Jonathan Dowd and the Spirit of Kansas City, which is the version of his band that played at East Side Stomp. But you can check out the recorded version, the studio recording on Bandcamp at the Fed Hop. Is the name of the album and the song. So we're going. Listen to that first part again. A little bit of intro. 8, 1, 3, 5, 6, 7. So let's try dancing that together. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. Cool. Hit me up if you got questions. Otherwise, we are going to forge ahead. So we've gone 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2. We're going to cross that right foot behind, kind of pointing it toward the left wall here, and turn ourselves around as we step onto our left foot, and bring ourselves the rest of the way around the next step. So it's definitely just a fall off the log. Fall off the log. But we're doing it while rotating, so it goes fall off the log. The weird bit I'm doing to this that makes it a little bit different is we're going to do a little bit of apple jacks here in the middle of the movement as we finish it up. So real quick, just a reminder, apple jacks for what we're doing today are going to be a sort of flat-footed version of the move. And we're going to spread our toes across with the weight on the heel. Wow, wow, wow. I'm kind of fanning my toes out to the side, like I'm pushing sand and making a little sand angel in the dirt. So we've gone 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I've got those apple jacks going on as I finish my rotation here. We're not going to do that many, but practice a million times. So let's run that with music and see if we can make that the awesomest. Jonathan Doyle, take it away. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. So we're just doing those 3 of the apple jacks, and those are going to be a little bit syncopated. You can hear it in the horn there. It goes da 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 bo ba ba da 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 do da. So we're going wah 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 with our feet at that point. And then we're going to do the same thing backward, like we do. One thing about this particular song, I think every other choreo we've done so far on these live streams has been AABA format as far as the phrasing goes. So it has thing, the same thing, something different, etc. This one's going to be a little bit more AB. So see if you can hear that as we go through it. But this first section does have both sides in it. So we're going to start with that first boogie forward on the right side. We're going to continue as though we already know how the other side goes, and then we'll come back and clean it up a little bit. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's break down that left side a little bit. The boogie forwards, I think everyone's probably got. We just go 8, 1, 2, 3. We're going to hold on 4. We rock step 5, 6. We lean forward onto our left foot. We clap on 8. We step back and drop. We take the left foot behind, facing the right wall. And we turn around doing our apple jacks. So let's try that whole thing together from the top. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3. One more time. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again. 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Really important on that count 7 that we are firmly planted on your left foot. I think I'm checking the comments here, and it looks like no one has questions, so I'm going to forge ahead. If you do have questions, feel free to throw them there on the chat, and I will be delayed in getting them, but I will totally get them and try to come back and answer them. So we finished our little intro section. We're going to steal now a little bit from another shim sham. First was the Al Leon entrance, right? Now we're going to jump over to Dean Collins' version of the shim sham and take a couple of moves from there. This one will not look very much like a shim sham, to those of you who know the one we do at East Side, but it's going to give you a a couple of new bits of vocabulary. So we're starting off with a Shorty George. We're going to do a kick ball change. That's a kick to the side. And that ball change is going to take us just a little bit forward in space. So kick, ball, change. So I'm moving about half the length of my foot on each of those little steps. What I'm trying to do is keep my feet really close together. And it's kind of like I have to go to the bathroom and I'm sneaking. I'm just taking half steps forward as I go. As I take those half steps, bloop, 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 I'm going to suck my thighs together toward the top. So as my left leg goes out for that half step, I'm pulling together so hard on the top that my right knee kind of tucks into the knee pit of my left leg. So I have bloop, bloop, shoot, 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 shoot. And to get the look, you want to practice that. Make sure your weight changes are really clear, but you get slowly lower as you get more confident with it. One thing I want to avoid on my Shorty Georges, so that it's not turning into a swivel, is I don't want to have my feet turn off of this line. So it's sort of like I'm on skis. I don't want to go, totally fine move, not Shorty George. So I want to keep my feet kind of on tracks. So my knees are going back and forth, but my feet aren't doing much. The next step of that is I'm going to keep my upper body pretty quiet, except for some tilt in the shoulders. And I'm going to tilt toward the knee that's sticking out. So if we do the kick ball change on the right, it went 8 and 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to be pointing toward the direction I'm going with my shoulders. If you want to do the classic Shorty George styling, you can kind of have your arms at 90-degree angles. And when you tilt those shoulders, your finger can kind of point to the knee that's sticking out. So you can go 8 and 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So that's lightning speed Shorty Georges. If you have questions about those, let me know. It shouldn't hurt. So if you find that your feet or your knees are hurting, stop, ask me questions. I would love to help you do that in a comfortable way, because it's an illusion. It's not actually breaking your knees. It should be looking like your knees are broken. So we're going to do that. We're going to modify the shape a little bit, because normally, like in the Shim Sham, we just do 8 counts of Shorty Georges, right? We're going to do half of that, and then do a little Dean Collins specific bit. So we still have 8 and 1, 2, 3, just like normal. A little cheater for when you're practicing. In most Lindy Hop routines, this one included, when you are going left, it's your odd numbers. When you're going right, it's your even numbers. So I'm going 8 and 1, 2, 3. On 3, instead of going over onto that foot, though, we're going to slide it out and make a straight line with our legs, just off to the side. So we go 8 and 1, 2, 3. And now I am twisting my right leg on the ground, so I'm not staying forward. I'm actually letting it come here. And we're going to let that rotate around a little bit. So I'm staying really firmly planted with my center over this foot, but throwing my other foot out to the side makes it look all broken. So now I can be balanced here and pivot that without hurting my knee at all. What I am doing is I'm bringing my right foot into a forced arch. A forced arch is where you go, and my heel's off the ground. I'm pushing kind of into the ball of my foot. And I'm kind of trying to match that line of my thighs together. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I want to make it so that it's not... Here I lose a lot because I'm too far apart, right? Or here you don't see much because I'm too close together. So I'm kind of going for that matching line between my thighs. So our shape for this again goes 5, 6, 7, kick, ball, step, step, out, 4, 5, 6, 7. On 7, we're taking that weight onto our right foot again, and we're going to do the whole thing backward. So we go kick, ball, change, step, out. So practice that on your left a couple of times on your own while I check the questions here. Cool. Just to make sure this is updating for me, I'm assuming you're all just brilliant and getting it right away. Would someone write me a comment just so I know that it's working, because I just refreshed my page over there. Again, we're doing it on the right side, 8 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then again on the left, 8 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's do that together, both sides, and see how this goes. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. On the second half, we want to stay up on that forced arch. Once we're done, we're going to keep that knee popped, and the toe is where our weight is, because we're going to do a heel drop next. So I need to make sure that my heel isn't already on the floor, there's nowhere to go. So watch for that real quick, because I do the left side. It goes 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm dropping my weight back onto that foot. And this is a little bit of a conglomerate of Dean Collins' ideas. It's not just all one thing, but it's all stolen pretty much directly from him. So we go from the top, we have the boogie forward section, then we have the Dean Collins section with the Shorty Georges. Cool. All right. Let's try that with music. Five, 6, 7. Five, 6, 7. All right, how'd it go? Perfect, of course, the first try. They always do. Cool. So we're going to do that one more time with music. When we do it this time, really try and focus on where your weight is and where your weight isn't. By that I mean, at the end of the Shorty Georges, for example, I want to make sure that I'm able to have the foot free to do the next kickball change. 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need to be so much on my right foot that my left foot's free to do a kickball change. The more control you have over that, the more it reads as, oh yeah, cool move, as opposed to, did they fall and catch it? Because if I go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, if I don't get that really clean balance, it starts to look a bit accidental, and we don't want to shoot for accidental, we want to shoot for totally awesome. So let's do that one more time with music, and then we're going to add on a little bit. If I can find my music, there we go. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. Sweet. All right, we're going to add on a little bit more. This is still borrowing directly from the Dean Collins Shim Sham, just putting it a little bit bent to fit the Fed Hop song here. If you want to check out the whole thing, you can actually find original footage of Dean doing it, both back in the day, although one of the best films is kind of weird because it's cut and they're doing camera tricks. You can also find one of him in the 80s demoing his Shim Sham, which is pretty cool too. There's a lot of changes. He's like smoothed out a bunch, but it's still a lot of the same vocabulary. So we just finished our left side, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to do a rock step with our right foot, and we're actually turning to face sideways on this one. So if our audience is over here, we're actually facing that way on this bit. So we went 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Rock, step, kick, ball, change. I'm kind of doing the train arms here. I've got my pistons going. So I got rock, step, kick, ball, change. Then we're going to do a move that was originally a move that is made famous by professional dancers on the stage, but not the kind that we're emulating at the moment. It was those working for money in different ways. So we're going to show off our fannies a bit, not the British version, the American version. And swing our butt around in a move called Tabby the Cat. We're going to do kind of a mellow version of it here. There's a million versions out there. If you want to see the one that was the most famous, it certainly wasn't the original, but there's a song called Tabby the Cat, and you can actually look up the music video, and a bunch of dancers are doing it. But you can go rock, step, kick, ball, change.
Think about a lot of things.
So I'm on my left foot. I'm going to step forward onto my right, but keep both my knees bent. I'm going to rotate around. I'm going to straighten my left leg, and straighten my right leg. So the vanilla version of this move, we got here, we're kind of ready to pounce. I rotate around, and I go pop, pop. And the idea, if you can keep your back flat and not do any hunching or moving of your back, it really isolates the hip movement on this. So that would look more like this. Pop, pop. So it makes it more about the butt and less about the shoulders. If you're here, it's fine, but no one sees what's going on. So the lower you can make that, the better. I am incredibly inflexible. So if you're more flexible than me, have fun with that one. Kick butt, take names, etc. All right. So we're going to do this one more time in super slow motion. We're going to go from those left Shorty Georges into the Tabby the cat here and try and make that all loop together. So we've got left foot, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, and 7. And those knees are just boom right at the end. It's almost the same time, but we want to make sure we go left, right, so we have that flow and it kind of moves our butt up. Let's add an arm to that, just for funsies. This is totally optional, but there's a million ways to do it. But we're going to pretend like you have a tail in your hands that you're holding. And we went here, and as I come around, boom, I'm going to stick my tail back out to flatten that up. That's a great way to A, cheat if you're not flexible enough to keep a flat back, which is why I do it, but B, it's just a fun little styling that I have absolutely stolen from old videos. So let's go from the top with music, see where the wheels fall off, ask me if you have any questions. Here we go. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. That was probably perfect, right? Cool. So, checking on the feed here. We're going to do all that one more time, but this time when we do it, try and listen, instead of listening to like, okay, this is where the shape goes, and the horn, try and listen underneath, because the guitar and the drums and the bass are really giving us this chung, 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 chung all the way through. See if you can add that texture to the rest of the dancing. Here we go. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. And then for bonus points, if you want, you can always smooth it out and like drop your pulse for a second during the tabby, and it draws a lot more focus to that smooth motion. So we're going to move on a little bit because I want to make sure we get through the whole choreo in our time. But if you do have any questions, put them up there in the comments and I'll see if I can get to them. I have not yet seen any comments, so I hope that they are loading for me. I'm so sorry if they are not, but I'm assuming you're just perfect and there's no reason to ask questions yet. So the music is going to kind of repeat a little bit. But we have one little step to connect it before it does that again, and then we're going to do a different version of a similar step. We're going to pay attention to that same part of the melody. So we just went. As a Tabby the cat. So we have that boop, bop, boop, ba-na. And because we've sort of made the Tabby the cat the feature of this break, the next 8 counts, we're going to do something a little bit more chill to wind us up for the next bit. So we're just going to paddle around in a circle, kind of like the Tranky do. So we went 5, 6, 7, 8. On 8, I'm moving my weight further forward onto my left foot, so I can just go around a clock backward, kind of. I'm going noon, 9, 6, 3. When I'm doing that, I'm using my standing foot, my left foot, going from just the ball of my foot to the heel. So as I'm paddling, I pick up my heel and I drop it after I'm paddling. And that's kind of cool because it makes it so it claps on 2 and 4 instead of making the emphasis on 1, 3, 5, 7. I have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I really want to make sure I'm emphasizing the correct part of the song there. So let's do that whole phrase. So going from the very top all the way through the paddle turns, and then we'll get into the second time through. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. So can you hear how we really need to hit those even numbers? Because it goes whoop bop boop bop boop ba da, and we want to, you know, actually dance to the song we're dancing to. Cool, awesome. I can finally see the comments. A bunch of them just loaded at once. So yay for the internet, and you're doing great. We're gonna move on to the second chorus here. It starts with the same melody that we just danced to. So when we get into it, it's gonna be tempting to go back to the same choreography that we did before. But we're actually going to change it slightly. So log that in your mind, but just because it sounds the same doesn't mean we're moving the same to it. So we just finished that whoop bop boop bop boop ba da. And we are going to stop stealing from Dean Collins for a moment because this is going to be a bit of a change. We're just kind of making up steps for this part. But we're going to have the same kind of feeling. We're going to try and follow Jonathan a little bit more closely. The first time we were just going, I'm cruising, he's playing doo-ba-doo-ba-da-da-da-da-da, and we were just painting over the top and kind of grooving with the background. This time we're going to be a little bit more literal in our interpretation of it. So we just finished boop-ba, boop-ba, boop-ba-da-da. I'm going to triple step on my right foot to my left front diagonal here. So I'm going downstage left, triple step. I'm going to kick, cross. Is that right? Let me check real quick. One, Now we're going to stay on our right foot. Let's triple step with our left foot to the left. So, sorry about that. We're going to go right, 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 get onto the right, and we'll triple step this way with our left foot. We kick, cross, rock, step. So let's do that together because I got it weird the first time. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, gather, triple step, kick, cross, rock, step. And to change my momentum there, I really have to get low. So I'm kind of swooping and it wants to come back opposite the diagonal I was doing, but we're forcing it to continue that way a little bit. So I go kick, cross, rock, step. I kind of have to dig into it to get my momentum to change. So let's try just from that paddle turn into that move. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to kind of drop onto our next foot. We're moving in a line. So this is sort of like the choppiest, weirdest chaîné turn ever if you've done classical dancing. Wah, ba, wah. The thing that makes it fit the song to me is, again, that underlying rhythm. So if you're not sure where that goes, always tune into the guitar, the bass, in this case, pretty much every instrument. And Doherty on there, Mike Doherty is killing it on the drums. He's feeding us all the things we need to dance. So we're going ba ba da do do da da do do ba. When I do that, I'm balancing on my left foot. I'm really putting my weight centered over that left foot. I'm not trying to do a nice turn. I'm not going up on the ball of my foot, up on the ball of my foot like that. I'm kind of staying low and letting my momentum just carry me around. So as I step across myself, watch my right foot, it pivots as I go. And then I pivot my left foot as it comes around. What I'm not doing is stepping and leaving my foot behind, so I end up with weird twisty shapes. I want to keep my feet kind of parallel with each other as we go. So if we go from that paddle turn again, it goes 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm keeping my weight on that left foot all the way through 8. And we're going to go into a move that we did a couple of weeks ago and do some Mambo steps. So I'm just going to go rock, step, cross, just twice. So not a ton of that, but when I do that, I want to have the texture change. So let's do that part with the music real quick and just see if we can see what kind of feel we want to put on that one. Too far. So it gets a little extra saucy in there for the Mambo step section. Checking on y'all, make sure things are going well. Joy, you're not the only one that finds that Dean Collins part a little bit challenging, so more power to you for engaging. He does it better than me, shockingly enough, so definitely check on the video of actually Dean doing it, because it's pretty cool. Sweet, so we're going to do the same thing backward, because that's how we do when the music repeats a lot of the time. So we just went... So we're on our left foot. We're taking our triple step with the right foot this way. Triple step, kick, cross, rock, step, turn. We're doing the exact same thing. Try not to let your leg on these turns. Try not to let it delay behind you very much. So I don't want to go here and let my legs get twisted. I want to keep it all attached. So I'm moving as one kind of playing card. Instead of doing something twisty. That's not wrong, but it's just not the choreography we're doing right now. So let's get through the whole section from the pivots, and tap, all the way through where we are so far. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, gather. Triple step, kick, cross, rock, and turn. Mambo step, triple step, kick, cross, rock, and turn. Mambo step, Totally optional, but if you know how to shimmy, I recommend it on the second set of Mambo steps. Just because you got to do something a little bit different, right? And you'll hear that Doyle lets his timbre of his horn get a little bit crunchier at that point, so that's how my body interpreted it. But don't feel bad about adding your own styling to this stuff. I'm kind of giving you basic moves, kind of what we can do in an hour. Feel free to sauce it up as you will. So let's go from that same spot with the music, and then we'll forge ahead. So we were a little bit more literal this time, right? We weren't quite as interpretive over what Doyle's playing. So we're doing triple steps when it sounds like triple steps. For the next bit, we're actually going to alternate with him a little bit on the rhythm. So when he makes that triple step sound at the beginning of his phrase here, or his line, we're going to kind of do something a little bit smooth. And then when he does his smooth thing, we're going to do something kind of triple steppy. So we're going to borrow from last week's choreography a little bit. We're going to do a corkscrew. So that's where I'm going to dig my heel into the floor. I'm going to throw my balance poorly onto that heel. So I can't stay there indefinitely. I'm going to fall back a little bit, but I am kind of sticking it into the ground. I don't have to hit hard. I just have to hit wisely. And I'm pretty much locking out my front leg. So when I do that, I'm going to be balanced on that left heel. I'm going to use my all about that bass section to rotate myself. So I'm going, 1. So we have 1, 2. So all I'm really doing is going step, step, right? It's just left, right? But I'm doing it in a fancy way because we're corkscrewing. So it goes 1, 2. If you want to make that more dramatic, you can turn your foot in on the front foot as you start and then let it reset to normal. So instead of going, maybe here you can see, straight here. If I want to be a little bit extra on it, I can go and dig across myself and then just let it come to normal. What I don't want to do is let it go out too far to the other side. So I don't want to go here and end up with the I've been riding a horse too long stance. So try and, if you're going to make that extra flair, try and make it at the beginning so that you're ready to go into the next move afterward. So we have corkscrew, out and in. So we're doing an out and in from Balboa kind of, but we're keeping our weight forward instead of moving our whole weight back onto it. So it's a triple step, or a pas de bourrée. We're going back and down. So what we did the first step was we went, huh, and we're kind of falling backward. Now on the triple step, we're kind of falling forward. So we're kind of, like our heads attached somewhere, we're going, wee, whoa. So I have corkscrew, triple step. So coming out of the oop-ba, doop-ba, doop-ba-da, we can go through to that point kind of slowly maybe and make sure that it's all working for us. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8. Oop-ba, doop-ba, doop-ba, gather. Triple step and kick, cross, rock and go. Rock, step, a step, and rock and go. Triple step, kick, cross, rock and go. Rock, step, a step. Rock, step, step, corkscrew, triple step. Now we're going to jump forward onto our right foot and hop onto it there. So I'm going and kind of throwing my arms open and letting them come back together. So I had corkscrew, triple step, hoop, ah, ah. So wa, ba, diki, da, hoop, ah, ah. So we came out of our last triple step, kick, cross, rock, and turn, rock, step, cross, corkscrew, triple step, rock, and back. So let's try that with music from the hoopa doopa doopa da part. I started at the wrong spot. Don't tell anyone. Corkscrew. And then if you know how these things work, you'd probably guess that we're going to do the other side next, and you would be right. So we just finished corkscrew, triple step, ah, corkscrew, triple step, ah. Experiment with where you want to aim those. I actually don't know what I like best. I've been playing with either going across my body to a corner for that hop forward part, or going open. So I either will go corkscrew, triple step this way and keep my body open, or this way. I don't know what I want. Do your favorite. So let's go back. Let's go through this whole part. We got it. I have faith in you. And I totally have faith that those questions are live updating. So sorry for that. So we're going to go from that oop-bop part like we've been doing. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Corkscrew, triple step, hoop, hoop, ah. Corkscrew, triple step, hoop, hoop, ah. All right. If you have questions, comments, or concerns, like I said before, please put them in the comments. If I see them, I will answer them. If I don't see them, I'm sure one of the swing kids will do their best to answer for me. Let's run that whole thing with music so far. We're almost to the end of this bit, and then we'll actually get to go through and polish and things. So from the top, again, this song is called The Fed Hop by Jonathan Doyle and the Spirit of Kansas City. There's a version by Jonathan Doyle and a bunch of other musicians that's available on Bandcamp, which you can find in the details under this video. If you want this version, you just got to come to the next East Side Stomp when they play, because it was recorded live and is certainly not licensed. 5, 6, 7. Don't kick the couch. Step number one. I'm going to add on the last little bit because I want to run it with music a few times. I had a request last week for more of that toward the end of the class. We have a pretty common step. You probably learned this in your first side-by-side Charleston classes. It's just rock step, kick step, rock step, kick step. But if you listen to the music in this part, it has a little bit of a lift there. So I want to put a float on that kick. So I'm just, So maybe you actually breathe in there and hold your breath for a moment, or exhale there, or whatever the thing feels like. But I want to actually interpret that a bit. Right here. So yeah, boo ba doo da 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 da. So we're gonna go corkscrew, trip, full step, step, hop, land. Corkscrew, trip, full step, step, hop, land. When we go to the next part, again, think about where your weight is on that last landing. The first one you kind of get away with because the corkscrew can look a little sloppy because it's a corkscrew. But going into this move, it's a little bit basic, so I want to make sure I'm actually nailing it. So after our last one, I want to line my body up and use my pulse to get sort of a gyroscopic shunk lock into place. So after I've gone corkscrew, trip, full step, ha, I want to drop down there on 8. And then we have rock, step, kick, cross, rock, step, kick, cross, rock, step, step. So we're using that simple floaty one to set up like the straight man in the joke, and then we're going to drop onto that foot on the third time through. So we got rock, step, rock, step, kick, step, rock, step, drop. And from that drop, I really want to be balanced on my left foot because we're going to get fast all of a sudden. We've been doing this smooth thing. We're either going to do a kick or a shuffle, your choice. Shuffle, ball change, or kick, ball change, however you like to do those. So we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So it comes really quick there. 1, 2, 3, diggity-da. So let's try that all together, starting with the rock, step, kick steps. 5, 6, 7, 8. Rock, step, kick, step, rock, step, kick, step, rock, step, step, shuffle, ball change. Now we're going to bring that right leg forward, and that's going to pull us in the room. To make that work, I really need to be engaged in my core and keep my body at the same angle. If I pull up like this, I lose my center. So we're going to go do ba do da 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 do ga do da 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 do ga do ba da ga da da wah. And we're just following exactly kind of what Doyle's doing here. We're getting literal again. So let's hear that. 5, 6, 7. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. We're going to do that again, but we're going to go a little bit earlier on. We're going to go from the corkscrews. So we just finished our Mambo steps. We went through here. Mambo step, and corkscrew, trip, full step, step, hop, back, corkscrew, trip, full step, step, hop, back, and rock, step, kick, cross, rock, step, kick, cross, rock, step, step, shuffle, ball change, and down. So let's jump into it with music, because you're awesome. Awesome. And I want to make that last, the shuffle ball change scoot part kind of sharp. And then I want to make the landing at the very end go wah and kind of melt into the floor because that's what the sax is doing, right? Da-da-da-da, do-wah. So see if you can make the first bit staccato and the last bit legato. So let's go all the way from the top with music, because you're awesome. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. Corkscrew's next. Awesome. So the part that helped me a lot getting through that last little bit, it kind of changes. Sometimes the weight goes on the unexpected foot, or it stays in the unexpected foot in this case. Really use that downward pulse. In particular, while you're doing that kickball change or that shuffle ball change, try and make sure your weight stays on that left side really cleanly. So when I'm in here, I got I'm not going and bringing myself over to the side. Otherwise, that scoot's really hard to stay balanced on. And I want to make sure I have the control to hit that smooth landing. So, dee-ga-dee-da, ooh-wah, and melt into it, as opposed to going and kind of falling off to my side. I can't even do that. So if you can master that without balance, more power to you. But I think it's going to be easier if you just really stick on that left foot. The other thing I'm doing there is because I know I'm going to want to scoot forward, I'm taking my shuffle or my kick a little bit behind myself so that the leg has some distance to cover to bring me forward like a pendulum. So check that out here. When I'm doing my kickball change, it's actually a bit behind me. Dee-ga-dee-da, hoo-ah. And because it's coming from behind, I really get that pull without having to do a ton of work to get it. Because just swinging my leg here gently is enough to move me some. The other thing I'm doing is I'm staying pretty low there. So I went do-ga-doo-da-ga-da, do-ga-doo-da-da-da, do-ga-doo-ba, dee-ga-dee-da, ooh-wah, into the couch. So let's take it from the top one more time. So that's a minute of choreo in an hour, so well done, y'all. Here we go. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining me on here. We're going to do the same thing again next week. Like I said at the beginning, it's not just this next week. We're going to have some social dancing as well. So immediately after this, I'll give a link to a Zoom call, and a bunch of us from all over the world will jump online and we'll DJ some music. We're having Salsa Cantota join us, so we're going to kind of resurrect the old Seattle Mini Exchange, which is pretty fun. We used to do every month. We'd have a whole weekend of dancing here in Seattle just because it happens anyway, and we're like, well, let's just get more live music going. Since we can't do things live or in person, we're going to do our best impersonation by joining forces and doing some online dancing. We did a little test run of it last week, and we had 30 people on there with like 7 countries represented. So I'm pretty excited about how this will turn out next week too. Feel free to come and join us. If you have any questions about this, it looks like my comments are glitching again. I got a big dump of them here just a second ago. I'll sort through those and try and get back to individual people. But if you have other questions, feel free to reach out to me on social media or through the YouTube comments here on the video. And I'd love to help you out with those too. And keep checking up. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube yet, do that, because we post a video at least once a week. Also, if you go over and you're like, you know what, this is awesome, and he's doing it for free, and I would like for him to be able to afford more peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. You can go over to patreon.com/Syncopation Foundation, and that money goes directly to pay me and some of the musicians and other artists that are doing videos for us, and also to help reimburse folks who we offered to hire for Big Sky Weekend before it was canceled. So we're trying to help support those artists as well. If you can't afford it right now, take care of yourself. Feel free to use this resource and don't feel pressured to give. But if you do have something, we'd appreciate it. Thanks, y'all, and I will see you over on the internets again sometime soon. Keep dancing, and we'll get back together here before too long. Bye.